Just thinking about someone I used to know. My cousin. The Queen, in fact. A tyrant. I tried to stop her, but things don't always go according to plan. She cast me out to a forgotten island, and made short work of my allies, too. Lucky for me, I was able to commandeer a ship, and began a new life for myself, out on the high seas. Aye, but I hear that the Queen is at it again. And there's something darker behind her madcap schemes this time. If I don't stop her, I don't know who will.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
A new dawn, a new day. Now, to get control of this barge before sundown. What are you smiling about?
That can't be natural. Now, where did I leave my calipers? There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or your bit. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. She'll be fine. Now...
Why won't you sing?
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before.
She chuckles once more.
That red-cheeked refusal tells me more than licking you would. But suit yourself, darling.
She smiles, contempt.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
Ah, there you are. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like...
The young woman seems about to raise her hand, but quickly remembers it.
Who indeed? Why, my name is,
The children break out into giggles.
I say it is.
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the...
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and get, and maybe I'll...
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? Like yourself, maybe. I don't mind the kiddies, usually. Thanks, but you take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tight. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles.
Good luck, Chief.
Sing us a song, I know you can.
I forgot how to sing.
Well, if it ain't the beast of the sea, I'll be. Shouldn't you be off yo-ho-hoing on your own ship instead of stowing away on this one?
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was...
What about that collar, then? All part of your master plan, is it?
Never dined on anything less than a dozen course dinner. And
So the tales ain't so tall, eh? Shame to see you cooped up here with us. Still, better collared than noosed, I say. Long as we can get this ale...
don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first... Well, well. What have we...
The lizard looks you up and down. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your...
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnips. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard.
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics. Yes, if you sprout hair as copiously on other regions of your physique, I don't doubt you're well versed. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can groom, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle, and the fact that won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. I know, but you just don't have what it takes. A good still. Hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser house.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, bent-faced.
Here to register, sir. You faring okay so far? Of course I do. Seems Voidwoke can dog your heels like a shadow. You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted.
Keep those bubbles tried on her. And if she tries to...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their...
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need...
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened? God damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick! No long before this thing snaps into splinters.
once.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid?
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a Wait, Voidwoken!
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph salute you.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
I hear something. It's Magister. See one.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister C1's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. C1 clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. C1 struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks.
Gods. Ripping the ship apart. This is it.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
Fran! My hat! Oh, damn it! Floating a few good miles out by now. Am I the lone survivor? Which means I better get a move on. Brachus Rex. The fella builds his throne on the backs of thousands, and the Order lets his statue stand.
The child has a small mirror in his hands.
I'm not supposed to talk to dwarves.
The child considers your statement.
You're weird. Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void thing?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He lifts...
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. It's better here than inside.
You spot a strange lizard, gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in the... You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but now then, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount...
He sighs, dramatic.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? You're everything. We see much the same, then, in our own ways.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the wave...
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Of course, it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very...
Suddenly, having all the air of being...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the world. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all the grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag, truly. A kind offer indeed. Fine. I accept on one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. You do tend to beat around the bush, don't you? So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Do not take my elegance as a mask for frailty. My blows shatter shields, and my thrusts pierce armor. If a warrior you need, the warrior you'll have. Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be... Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest of...
black cat. Well, I like cats, but I wouldn't eat a whole one.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes its head. The cat's eye, it appears confused.
What's this? I found something.
I wonder where this leads.
You walk up to a skeleton unlike any you have ever seen before. His skull seems to be carved into intricate patterns. With the gems approaching, you hear a profane rumble from the undead beast.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards.
Damnation! That's stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Actually, you don't seem half as threatening as those creatures in red. Run along, won't you? I have business to attend to. Why, its face, of course. What other use would I have for some rotting corpse? A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to... I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously... I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Carved? Please. You hardly think I am one of your breed, do you? You have never seen anything like it because you have never met anyone. Simply put, I am an eternal. Indeed, no one seems to have the good taste to be. At least from this realm. As for the others... well... there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, you seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would... Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather skilled in... Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality. But being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you much magic? I was controlling the powers of the universe while your people were still... doing whatever it is you used to do. What speciality would you prefer? I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get on? Splendid. Very well. Is it not enough that you go on then? Bark away. Let's see if we can find any method in it. Ah, this is perhaps the first intelligent question you have asked. After all, one should always try to learn from one's betters. My people are a race far beyond anything that exists in the world today. We seek to master the secrets of the universe. We craft wonders to last through the ages, long after your crude tools have rusted to nothing. There are rumors that some have been found at the Black Pits, an oil field on Reaper's Coast. I was trying to uncover the truth when but wherever the artifacts of my people are, I will find them. There is a great variety among our people. Some are tall and lithe, others short and muscled. This is what makes you such an abomination, you see. You almost look exactly like every other human out there, just as every lizard looks like every other lizard. Walking through this world is as repulsively bland as staring at a wall for a century. After a while, the very sight of you disgusts me. No offense, of course. No, I should not. Not yet. Not until I know what truly And, after all, I am still here, despite the Voidwoken's best efforts. Oh, I think of them as little as possible. As much, I imagine, as you think of gadflies that buzz about you. Not that there is anything wrong with you, of course, just that you're, well, not all that impressive. That sounded dangerously close to an independent thought. How surprisingly... Regardless, further study will be required.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. After a moment...
Sorry, do carry on. Just act as you do in your natural environment.
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding her knees and trembling. The child quiets and seems comforted by your presence. She looks up at you with curious eyes.
There are monsters here. Lizard ones and real ones. It's weird. Master was a lizard. She sent us here. Me, Ma and Pa. It's their fault I'll never see Ma and Pa again.
The child doesn't...
Where is she? You go with us. Who are you?
Are you from the shelter? She says nothing of another. Fire, alas! She is so late! Never mind. It is not your concern.
She leans forward. Her eyes are wet with...
Please, do not lead anyone here.
These turtles. They're transforming. swallowed too much seawater, by the looks of him.
Foolish to attempt an escape by sea in these waters.